With the time, as I say, just 26 minutes to 1 o'clock, it's my very great pleasure to introduce Brian Barrett, who is the coordinator of the East Hills District Men's Shed Association Incorporated. That's right, a mouthful, isn't it, Brian?
That's it.
Welcome to the program. You're the as I say, you're the coordinator, and your association does a lot of wonderful work. It's part of, I believe, 1,200 men's sheds right throughout Australia.
That'd be right. Yes,
Yes.
in that vicinity and growing every day. It's quite a very progressive organisation and well managed, and it's very well patronised.
Excellent. Well, first off, why don't you tell us about your job, and then we'll go into the association as well, too.
Well, I'm the president, and
sorry, you're the president.
Yes,
I sort of downgraded you there a bit, didn't I?
Doesn't matter. I'm responsible for the well-being of all the members and coordination with the various groups around.
How many members do you have in your association?
Currently, we've got a 20 financial, but we've had up to 35, 40. The COVID crisis has caused our membership to wane because
Yes.
we're working on restricted numbers with the social distancing and the 4-metre rule. So
Yes.
that's...
And how long has your association been going now?
Our shed was first formed in 2013-14, and I got involved in 2016, and have started off as a normal member, became vice president, and then...
They could see you had the potential and you went right to the top,
no,
eh?
I was the sucker. The only one who put his hand up for the job, as is normally the case in
Yes,
a
indeed.
lot of organisations.
Yes.
But no, it's very rewarding. We do a lot of good work around the community, and consequently, we get a lot of support because of the nature of the things we do. So,
Yes. Now, tell us about you do charity work, obviously. Tell us about your charity work that you get involved in.
We work with a lot of the local schools, disability associations, Disability Australia at East Hills. We've done projects with Reesby South School, Panania South, local kindergartens. Anybody who needs a bit of help, we're quite willing to put our hand up and pitch in.
Right. Now, somebody such as myself, who's has a bit of struggle putting a nail into a piece of wood, as it were, how would I go on if I suddenly said, you know what, I'd like to join the men's shed and do a bit of work, but I need a lot of guidance?
Well, it's not a problem because we've got members that are from across a broad spectrum of occupations.
Yeah.
And
Can I ask you what skills you have then?
I'm a toolmaker by trade.
Okay.
And but I've been working was working in the heavy equipment mining industry for 40 years
Oh, okay.
after I finished toolmaking, and
No wonder they've got you at present. You've got a lot of experience
I
there.
have. I've been very well travelled, and I've seen a lot, and it's I've had a very interesting life actually. So,
Yes,
and,
yes,
and it's
yeah.
becoming even more interesting now. I've got involved with this. I thought
Yes.
at my age, when I retired, that I'd be able to sit back and take it easy, but I'm probably working hard as I ever have. So
Really, you'd say that you're working
Yep,
harder now,
I
would
am.
you?
Yep,
Yes,
yep.
yes.
I
How
have
much
to-
time do you put into the men's shed then?
Well, we're open Mondays and Tuesdays
Yes.
from 9 till 3,
Yes.
and but we fundraise through Bunnings barbecues.
Oh, okay.
And we started off. When I took over, we were in a pretty poor financial situation, which had to be rectified. So we approached Bunnings, and they allowed us to hold sausage sizzles on every Friday, which was a bit out of the norm.
Yes.
It created a bit of a precedent, actually.
Yes.
And they've been marvellous in helping us raise a fund. So the kick-on from that is that the money that we raise through Bunnings, we can do a lot of the projects free of charge for the local groups.
That's fantastic, yes.
We're very well supported. Even local council, local state government, federal government,
Yes.
through grants.
Yes.
They're very sensitive to what we do, and accordingly they back us up very well. So
Okay, right. Yeah. What would you say has you been? I imagine there've been a lot, but what would you say has been your most satisfying project so far that you've taken? Your most satisfying one that you've taken?
satisfying project. It's very hard to say. Probably the Revesby South sensitivity garden.
Okay.
They got a grant to build this sensitivity garden for special needs pupils, and
Yes.
it was sort of stagnating, and because of the commitment of parents in a lot of schools now, they don't get a lot of backup because
No.
they're too time poor with
Yes.
with their parent groups, and
Yes.
so we were asked to get involved and help kick the project off, and
Yes.
which we did. We built a lot of items such as chimes and bells out of recycled material, and
Oh, fantastic.
and games, and
Yeah.
and colourful stuff that.
Yeah.
And that was very rewarding, because it's going to be there for a good
Yes.
while.
Yes.
And not only that, it keeps our members involved
Yes.
in something that
Yes.
is constructive.
Were all the members involved in that?
No, because restrictions with working with children.
Ah, yes.
We unfortunately we do come under a lot of bureaucracy, as is common today.
Yes.
But so not everybody in the shed had working with children qualifications. So, but we're getting more and more on. And
Yes, getting those checks, it's quite an intensive process, isn't it?
yeah, it is.
Yes.
And dealing with occupational health and safety requirements, it does become a bit of a nightmare for
Sure.
people such as myself. But,
Yes.
we work our way through it.
Yes.
And we're pretty
Yes.
stubborn old fellas. And we don't get too phased.
So what are you working on at the moment?
Well, we've been approached by East Hills Primary School to do a similar thing that we did at Revesby South.
Yes.
And we've just been going through working out some sort of budget and what materials we're going to need, and what items we're going to put into in situ. So that'll be a good one. And also Revesby North
Yes.
Primary School have approached us. So
Oh, good.
we've got a fair amount on our plate.
Yes,
And,
yes. So you're not sitting there twiddling your thumbs drinking tea. You've
No,
got
no, we're very proactive shed, as
Yes.
they are.
Yes.
I mean, there's this image that we're just a bunch of old fellas sitting around, as you say, drinking tea and
Yeah.
telling lies. Well, but, it's not the case.
Yes.
We really get into it. And,
Yes.
and our shed is located in the national park in Revesby, down at the bottom of River Road, and
Oh, you've got a nice spot down
we
there.
have. It's very tranquil down there, and
Yes.
we're very well supported by the national parks.
Yes.
It's one of their workshops that was being underutilised that we were able to procure with the help of the local state member, and the man who got the shed off the ground. He did a fantastic job to get it all organised together.
Yes.
And unfortunately, he passed away after a couple of years and didn't sort of live to see the fruits of his efforts.
Oh, that's a shame.
But we've carried on the good work that he did. So.
Indeed. Now, look, would you like to give us a bit of a history about how Men's Shed started up?
There was a need in the community for men retired and at a loose end to get together and address things like health issues, social neglect, and it just developed out of nowhere, really. And
Yes.
like all things, it starts with one group.
Yes.
And develops and
Yes.
now it's not only a national Australia thing; it's a worldwide thing. And And because of its success, is an acknowledgement of the need that's out there.
Yes.
For men, when they retire, they're thrown on the scrap heap of life, and all they do is start to deteriorate and annoy their wives. And
Yes.
so this is not a sexist group. We don't discriminate. We just find it helpful for men who have health issues such as traumatic stress,
Yes.
heart problems, prostate, all men's issues, that
Yes.
they can talk
Yes.
amongst their fellow men who've experienced the same problems.
I imagine you must be doing a lot of good work psychologically for men as
Definitely,
well, too.
definitely,
What you're doing.
Yeah, it's amazing actually. We get people who have serious problems with depression,
Yes.
and we can bring them out of it, talk to them, make them feel included.
Yes.
We're almost like non-professional therapists in a
Yes.
way.
Yes.
And
Yes.
of course,
And sort of I imagine like a family as well, too.
it is.
Mm.
The camaraderie that's built up is
Yes.
quite amazing. I've
Yes.
made so when I retired, a lot of my friends moved away, interstate, died. As they do, and your workmates have moved on, and
Yes.
so you do tend to feel a little bit isolated from time to time, and this is the camaraderie that's developed
Yes.
through being involved has been very rewarding. I've reconnected with people and made some really good friends. We have wonderful people involved in our just ordinary guys, but
Yes.
they can be extraordinary.
Excellent. Now, we were talking about you had a very good presentation. Well, we were just talking about that off air at the Padstow Club, Rotary. Yes.
Yeah. They asked me to address their group at Reesby Workers last week, actually, and they were extremely interested in what we did and what we are doing, and we're going to work in coordination with them on some of the projects. They make the contacts with the community groups that need help.
Yes.
And we have the equipment.
Yes.
To fabricate up equipment or whatever, or to assist in whatever they may do.
Yes.
And so we got sort of the manpower and the gear, and working together. Well,
Yes.
I'm sure. I'm really looking forward to it. We've only just made the connection, but
Yes.
I'm sure it's going to be quite fruitful. So.
That's another side of things too. I mean, I imagine it's a big job maintaining all the equipment that you've got down there as well too.
Yeah, well, most of the stuff that we've got is good quality, and it's well cared for, and we've got a cross section of skills. I've got the engineering skills. We've got electricians. We've got a panel beaters, and we there's always somebody.
You're covering all the spectrum by the sound of things. Yes.
So we can turn our hand pretty well to most things. We don't get too over ambitious, but you don't have to have any super skills to be a member. We've got people that were delivery drivers and accountants.
Yes.
Never used hand tools, but our accountant is now our treasurer, so he's a handy man to have around, as you can imagine.
Definitely. Now, listen, anybody listening now, particularly any of the retired males and so forth, if they'd like to join your particular association there, what's the number that they can call?
My mobile number is 048 77 00 808, and our email address is East Hills Men's Shed, or one word, at hotmail.com.
Right. Now, is there anything we haven't covered that you'd like to bring out there that maybe we haven't thought about?
No, I think we've pretty well covered the main basics of what we do.
And of course,
And,
as you said, everyone's welcome to come along.
Yeah, well, at the moment, unfortunately, with the COVID thing,
Yes.
we're restricted with numbers at the moment, so
Yes.
we're not taking on new members
No.
currently. But
No.
as the restrictions are lifted, we'll take on more people.
Exactly.
And I'd like to get up to, we could probably take at least another 10 members. I've actually got a waiting list of.
You do have a waiting list.
But that doesn't mean you can't come down and have a look.
No.
Because it fluctuates, as I say.
Yes.
And
yes.
So anybody who's interested can give me a call, and they can pop down on a Monday or Tuesday and have a look around and see if
it's something for them.
It doesn't suit everybody.
No.
But if you like to be proactive and do something worthwhile, well, it's a good place to.
Well, you're doing a fantastic job, obviously, Brian. I thank you indeed for coming in and speaking with us today and telling us all about what the association does, and you do a lot of great work, in particular for charities as well. So thank you again.
No, thank you for the opportunity, John.